Am I live? I might be live. We'll be live very soon. I don't know. Whee! Yay! Okay. I don't know if there will be anybody today, but I just wanted to make a little quick stream-ish, just chilling with you guys. Because actually, you got somebody who asked me to answer a couple of questions, and apparently he wanted to have a MP3 file. So I figured since the question, there you go, damn, MD, spell my new word. How you doing, guys? So yeah, I got a Q&A from one dude called Crisis on Fire. Is that it? Crisis Note on Fire? Crisis Note on Fire. Anyway, I don't know. I think it's not his real name on. I think it's not his real name. I think it's not his name on Twitch though, because he's been following me for a while, and he asked me a couple of questions for to answer a homework of his. Apparently, his teacher wanted to have an interview with one dude, and he chose me. I don't know why, but he chose me. So I answered. The thing is, I answered the text. I answered everything. Let me put some music in the background. I feel naked without anything. All right, there we go. I'll put the gal sleep. Whoa, 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 whoa! That's too loud. There we go. So yeah, apparently he wanted the answer in an MP3. So since there we go. So since I actually answered him via text and sent in an email, and he said like, hey, I really need an MP3, like a 5-minute MP3. So I said like, you know what? He has to give his homework by tomorrow. So a promise is a promise. I just figure I will do it live, and then I export that to YouTube, and I will send that dude a the link so we can create an MP3. Anyway, so it'll be a very chill stream. It's gonna be a Q&A thing. Give me a second. What the hell, I got pens? Alright, so hopefully he will be there. Well, early stream visitor. Hey, Casey Masterpiece, man, how you doing? Monkey Man, sum up. Goes like, what? Why is there people? Hang on, so I'm gonna do, I don't even know how to do it. I just jump in and say like, yeah, we're gonna figure out what's happening. Okay, I'd like to have the question like on the screen, so I can answer everything. And then the music stopped. What happened? Ah, yeah, it's because the Premiere is open. Pretty sure that's because of that. Voila. Okay. So I got a couple of questions. I'm just preparing everything, guys. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna switch it to left screen share. Ah, where am I? Oh my god! Like this. So you actually have two to question number 4. I hope he won't lose points for that on his homework. This one is insane. An insane question over there. Okay, so there's like number 5. And I got some notes as well, so I might just read my notes at some point, just so it will be easier if I do so. So it's totally improvised, guys. Probably gonna look super unprofessional, but I figure we should do it anyway. So how many people is there actually? What? 100? There's like 100 people watching already. What? Okay, I'm gonna do a code, I guess. I guess that yeah, because it has a notification in Zombital. Well, anyway, I'm gonna do a stream anyway because I think that those questions was nice. And if you guys want to have any question as well, I can answer them. How about we do that? But I actually have to make it quick because the kids are going to sleep very soon. All right. I wasn't expecting 130 people. Okay. That was beautiful. Is he live? No, he's still not live. Okay, let me create a code right away. I want to do like a code right there. Generate oddly cooing horse. I want to do this. And destroy on claim. There! Oddly cooing horse. Create. There we go. That's your code, guys. I don't know how to change it on the robot, on the Ursa bot. I don't know how to do it, so it'll be like that. Okay, you open that up like this. Well, since I'm all set and everything, how about I put my green screen on? There we go. Yes, close. So yeah, I was very swamped on trying to make everything going. The Zombial trailer, I'm doing a trailer for Zombial, and God, it's taking me way too much, but I like where this is going. I like where it is going, but yeah, it takes me too much time. And also just ships and meats in there, blah blah blah. So I just kept going and said to Crisis on Fire, hey, sorry, it wasn't today, I didn't have time. Sorry, I didn't have time every day, and then his deadline is tomorrow. So, you know, a promise is a promise. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it. So it might be a bit weird, but we'll figure it out. QA for Mr. Crisis. I'm lazy. Wow. Can I put that like on top of it? Alright. I'll be very weird. Code doesn't work. Code is not working. Is it the same thing as the other time? Like I do a destroy, because I destroy on flame. That's why. Somebody used it and that's it. Okay, so day, not destroy on flame. Generate straight diligent parrot. There we go. No, not cancel. Create. Boom. Let me know if this one worked. How long before the code start? It should be starting. It should be right there. See, George got a code. See, George was the fastest of the universe. All right. All right, so question number 1 is, tell me a little bit about yourself and the project game you worked on. All right, so my name is Latch. My name is Simon Lachance. I'm from Quebec, the French part of Canada, and I'm an indie game developer for the past like 9 years. I started up my company in 2008 with 2 other artists, Etienne Jean and Marc-Antoine Jean, and we made a bunch of Flash games and now mobile games. Bunch of Flash and mobile games, like over 25. I think 10 of them are on mobile as well. And now we're jumping into the big console market, so we are working for several years on a couple of projects that we want to sell on consoles, namely Just Shapes and Beats. So it is my 40 hours a week job. This is how I sustain my family. This is how I pay the bills and feed my wife and 3 kids. And yeah, I've been a professional indie game developer for a long time. What made you become a developer in the first place? Well, the funny thing is I didn't want to be a developer when I started out. I always thought that game dev was reserved for a group of genius people, you know? People very, like the elite of the cream of the cream of the society will be it. But, so I just thought that it wasn't for me. I went to school in computer science for 5 years, in technical schools plus a university, and then I had the opportunity to work into the industry for 2 years in a little company called Frima Studio. Well, little, it was like 100 people over there. So I worked there for a year and a half, and I fell in love with video games development. I always consider myself a failed artist because I'm a coder, but I always wanted to be an artist, like a musician, or I couldn't draw anything. I always wanted to have something similar to the artist. And when I went to video game development, that's where I really saw that, oh, that's really combined my 2 passions, which are the code and art, you know? So yeah, when I got there for like a year and a half, in that job, I spent a lot of time working on the project, like 50 to 60 to 70 hours a week. Even when my boss didn't ask me to, I was working overtime just because I loved it. And then after a while, I was like, okay, if I'm about to kill myself into making stuff, I'm better do it for my own career, you know? So not to work for somebody else. Since I'm pouring that much energy into that little thing, that's video game development, I should not be pouring that into another guy's pocket or benefits, you know? I still thank them a lot to this day for all the knowledge that they gave me, and I still recommend people to start in the industry first before going into before becoming an indie game developer, because of the knowledge that you will get, contact that you will have, and also some money that you can use when you start your indie career. But yeah, that's pretty much my story. It was like this, but yeah, I have to go fast because you want like a 5-minute MP3. You're probably gonna have to cut. Over the many years you've been an indie game developer, what important things have you learned about the development of the game you worked on that will have saved you much of your time and sanity if you have just known about that particular thing? Okay, for example, if you had the chance to go back in time, what would you tell to your younger self? To that question, actually, excellent question, by the way. I would say that making a game is only half the battle. You can have like the greatest game on your hand, like the best perfect game in the universe, but if you don't sell it right, it won't sell. You know, it won't get popular. It won't get out. It's a very hard thing to learn. When I was younger, I was like, no, I just have to make the perfect game. No, that's not how it happens. I know that Zafrank made an awesome video on the creativity, and he said there's 2 different crafts: the craft of making the thing that you do, and the craft of making money out of that thing that you do. And there's 2 different crafts. There's 2 different set of experience, and you can get better at one or the other. So you have to get good on both if you want to survive. That's what I would say to my younger self. I want to hear your thoughts about what you think success means to you. More people believe success in the video games industry comes from how profitable a game is or exposure. Other believe somewhere during the development. Blah, blah, blah. So basically, what is your take on success? Well, there was one dude here on the chat actually one time who asked me like, when will you consider yourself successful? And I just replied, well, with my games, I can feed my wife and my kids and I can pay the bill. I'm already successful in my mind. I don't need more than that. I can already work. This is my job, you know. I'm able to create video games 40 hours a week and make that a living. So that's success to me, you know. I don't want more than that. Sure, like more money or more exposure or more popularity, more fame could be nice, but it could also be damageable as well. You know, if you create a game that gets so popular, the pressure on your next game will be intense, you know. So I'm kind of happy that I'm not Notch, for example, Notch or Edmund McMillan or Toby Fox, or you know, because that can be very harmful for the next game. So basically, what is success means to you? If I'm able to just continue and do my work and feed my kids, I'm okay with that. Hang on, Fairy developer especially. I think I cut this one not correctly. Is that every? Okay. Oh yeah, that question is intense. Look at that question. There's like a million questions in there. If I remember, I said like, okay, I'm gonna cut them into different question, because I do remember I was like, okay, I have to separate that into different question. He asked for the challenge before, challenge now, challenge then. And what was it? Oh yeah. So yeah, the challenge at first was yeah, well, money and exposure is basically what you don't have at the beginning. Starting an indie game career is the same as starting any other company out there. You will spend your first years, plural, in there into creating a fan base, creating your client base, so which in that case are the fans, and you will spend like lots of time to just make your first dollar. And there's a lot of stuff just to start a company. There's just your website, your logos, your image, your branding, your social media, Twitter, Facebook, blah blah blah, and then you have to maintain them. It's a nightmare, you know. So there's a lot of work that has to be done that does not even include video games. Not even talking about the paperwork or accountants or lawyers, all that stuff, you know. There's a lot of stuff that is not included into making video games. So you will, it took us like a whole year pretty much to start. We were making our prototype of a game for 6 months. Like, we worked together, me, Etienne, and Mark, even when we were working at that place, you know, Frima Studio. So evenings and weekends, we were just making our own prototype and just having fun to see how it went. And then we quit full time. We spent 6 months on a prototype that we never released because it was way too ambitious. So we just canceled it. We took the engine out of it. We took some visual out of it, and we started something smaller. And then we canceled that one again because it was still too big. So we started once again with something smaller that we did in 3 weeks, and we've been able to sell that to Congregate back in the days. That was a Mechanical Commando 1. So we got like we didn't get that much, but we got our first money, and that was very, very important for us because for the very first time we've been able to create video games and monetize that, have money in return. So we were super excited. We were like, okay, it is doable. It's feasible to do something to create a business there. That was back in 2008, so iPhones and iPads didn't exist back then. so we were making Flash games. Yeah, the point, if I go back to the question, the career, the first challenge at the beginning is you will spend like lots of time with zero money in your bank account just to prepare everything. Challenge then is the motivation, if I remember. After that, like being able to work, to motivate yourself to create stuff every single day is a challenge on its own. Very, very difficult if you don't know how to force yourself, how to schedule yourself, you know, how to say like, okay, I'm working from this time to this time. After that, I'm out. And sometimes you just sit down and you're like, yay, I'm on top of the world, right? I can make whatever game I can. I'm paid to do it. Let's start. And then you have like a blank face and you just spend the day on Facebook or Twitter, or you're just like, okay, let's start something. And then you went up to YouTube, and at the end of the day, you haven't worked that much, you know? So motivation, it's a very ironic thing because you're free to do whatever you want to do as an indie, but you kind of just want to do nothing else. You kind of just want to do everything else than making games. So there's one point. Definitely, like, you know, in the middle of the career, motivation was very hard for me. But I've been able to, again, have a schedule of like, okay, at 8 a.m. I'm in front of my computer, and the very first thing I do in the morning is force myself to write at least one line of code. So when I do have one line of code, I just started a little task, so I want to finish that task, which bring me up to the next task, blah 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 blah. So it just make me start the gear running and everything. So I have my rhythm now, but it was very hard to find. And the challenge now is now the company is growing up. We are tackling a bigger project with Just Shapes and Beats. We are like 7 people on the same game, which is the very first title that we did at Berserk Studio that has that much people on. For the past like 8-9 years, we were used to work with 2 or 3 people. 1 coder, 1 artist, bam, shipped within 4 months, you know? So very, very small iteration of game, very fast. That's what we were used to. But now with this one, I have to tackle, you know, I have to Twitch 3 times or 4 times a week. I have to take care of the promotion, I have to take care of the team, and I end up just working like 25% or 50% into actual coding, you know, because my role is pretty much to patch the holes in the team. If there's somebody waiting for something to be done, I will jump on that to clear the fire, you know, so we can work on, and I'll be back on something else. So that's the challenge now, is trying to juggle with everything. To fix that, I actually tend to disconnect myself from internet at the very beginning of the day. The first 4 hours of the day for me are I call them my golden hours, because that's where I'm the most productive. That's where I'm like, okay, stuff are being done, bam, 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 and I'm super fast. And then like I kind of slow down a bit, so I'm gonna do some very simple tasks after those 4 hours. So that's why I start to stream on the afternoon, because I can do whatever. I can do 2 things at the same time. It's a little bit more chill, you know. And I try to make all the meetings at the end of the day, so meetings are easier to do, and we just smile and talk with everybody else, you know. So I had to make a certain schedule. Not only like I have to work from this to this, but also structured my task. So the hardest task is at the beginning of the day, and the smaller tasks are at the end. So yeah, that's it for the challenges. I believe that's what that huge question was about. So I'm gonna go to the next. What are the pros and cons of being an indie game developer? The pros is you are free to do what you want to do, and the cons is that you cannot do anything that you want to do except work. So, for example, these days I'm rushing out to work on Zombie and to Just Shapes and Beats. We have a couple of deadlines. We have to push that game very fast. So every time I don't work, I have to convince myself that it's okay that I don't work because most of the time I feel guilty. So if I'm a little bit tired at the end of the day and I'm not working, I'm just playing Dark Souls or playing video games, there's a part of my brain that goes like, I should be working, I should be doing something productive. My computer is just, it's just in my office, so I can just like stop playing game, go upstairs and start to work. So there's always that little part of my brain that says like, hey, you could be working now. But, you have to convince yourself, no, I need breaks because otherwise I will just break up stuff or I will just I just break out, I will just burn out. So it's very important to take breaks. And that's coming from a guy working on Saturday night at 8 p.m. So, you see, case in points, my friend, case in points. I have noted a couple of them as well. Force myself. Yeah, the love you get from the fans, pros, the love you get for the fans, the love you get from the fans is intense. There was one guy once who told me that playing SkyQuest was helping him go through the pain of his cancer. So I was like, fuck, man, I just cried that night. I was like, fuck, that's insane, just like, I just make games for fun, and it's kind of a egoist thing, not narcissistic, but it's kind of a selfish thing into making video games, I'm doing that because I'm happy, so it's for my own benefits in one case. But then some people play your games and they help them go through their life for X, Y, and Z reason. And when you receive that, man, you were not prepared for that. So it really touched me really hard, that one. And one of the cons is the hate that you get from non-fans is intense. So the love and the hate, the bell curve is opposite on internet. Either people want you dead, like I said, lots of people want you dead because your game is too easy, hard, quiet, loud, girly, hardcore, name it. The number of times for every game we release, there was half of people saying the game is too easy, the game is too hard on the very same game, So you just have to extract yourself of the comments, don't take them personally, and try to make a general message of the reception of that, but definitely not listen to one dude who wants you dead. Like, you're doing okay, it's your first game, just keep going. Are you proud of the project? Yes, go on. That's what's mattered. So yeah, even there's a game that we did that people didn't like it that much, and I was still proud of it. So yeah, cons, obviously the salary. My friends, my colder friends from university and college, are actually getting like almost, well, some get twice my salary at this point. If I stop being an indie right now and just go to whatever industry and say, hey, I have a 10 years experience into coding and all that stuff, I'm gonna double my salary instantly. That is for sure. Just to give you an idea, here in Canada, my salary, if you count that as a family revenue, we are under the threshold of poverty, I'm not saying that's for pity or to get donation or whatever. Keep your money. We have enough. We have enough money to sustain. We learn how to live from that money. But my point is, the salary is super low. The good thing, though, is working on what you love is actually saving you a lot of money. Like, I had to spend lots of money on Xbox games and other stupid shit because I hated my week, and that is so true. I had a friend who was working at EA for a long time, and at the end of the week he was super exhausted. He didn't know what to do, and he just bought a bunch of stupid shit just to comfort himself because he hated his job. I said EA, but he could have been working anywhere. If you don't like your job, you're spending like 40 hours a week on doing something that you don't like. So obviously on weekends you will use that money to spend on stuff or activities to try to make you smile, right? On the weekends, I am waiting for Monday to come back so I can work. So on weekends, I play with my family and I play with my kids and everything. But for real, I'm like, oh, Monday's coming up. Yeah, we're Monday. So at the end of the day, I just read a book or I go on YouTube or whatever. But I'm always like leaving my day with a smile. So there's a lot of money that you save just by doing the stuff that you do, that you like to do. So yeah, that was a long answer. I feel guilty when I play games. I said that already. Next, developers tend to have a personal mark on the game that they make. Would you say you bring to the table? What would you say you bring to the table when putting in your artistic vision or interpretation of things in your game? Perhaps you love putting obscene and vulgar jokes, or you love to show a darker or rebellious side. Maybe you just love to creativity for free, doesn't care. The last sentence kind of do it though. Maybe you just love to let your creative run free and you don't care if it doesn't make sense as long as you're having fun. That's basically it. There's a lot of people. Okay, so the question I believe is what is your signature and what do you tend to do? So I'm just gonna ramble on that. There's a lot of people out there who are making games as an artistic piece, and I love that. For example, my very favorite piece of art, a game as art, will be Paper Please. Paper Please, really love that game, and I really think it deserves a shit ton of attention. Really like inspired me into making, very inspired me as a game dev, further on. But I know that I'm not interested into creating those games. I'm more into the pew pew boom, joke, pew pew pew, shoot, shoot, avoid, challenge, yay! So that's kind of my stuff. And that's part of my personality as well. I like to play with my kids like a lot, just jumping anywhere and just like, when I go to the park with my 3 kids, and I just start to play with them and do just random stuff like, hey, I'm a monster, brr, just go run in circles. And I always end up with like 15 kids around me, just like, and just playing with them. While everybody just like, all the other parents are just like sitting with their coffee and like, what do we do? Like, we suck as a parent. And we're just like, and I'm just jumping everywhere, be the monster, chasing them around, everything, So I just like to have fun, but very, how can I say it? Naive fun, innocent fun, just like, hey, I'm a monster, I'm gonna kill you, boo, 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 punch, you kill me, bruh. Alright, let's start again. So I'm like that in real life. That tends to be my kind of game as well, just like gold fun that makes 0 sense-ish. And yeah, if it makes me laugh, I'm happy, and that's it. So that will be my personal mark. I just wanted to have something else on the personal mark though. That's not something that I woke up on day one and say like, okay, what will be my personal mark as an indie game developer? Aha, I know. No, like you make games, you start by imitating, you start by making, not clones, but you start by imitating other people. So what we did was make a Mechanical Commando. After that we made a Zelda. I'm not gonna say remake, but I'm gonna say clone just for the fact. Zelda imitation or tribute. There you go. Zelda tribute with Hero's Arm. So that was definitely like, hey, we love Zelda. Let's make a Zelda. And that's it. We made one. After that it was Mario. So with Swordless Ninja, we love Mario, so we made a Mario. We have Mechanical Commando, which is pretty much like Jackal or whatever shooter, top-down shooter. We had Berserk Ball because we love Toss the Turtle. We had Sand of Coliseum because it's a mix between, Final Fantasy, RPGs, and stuff like that. So my point is, when you start by imitating other people, and then you find ways to get productive, effective, but you get some point, you get better at speed. And you know what people like of you and what they don't like of you, and you also know how to get faster to the result that makes you happy. So it tends to create something with your own signature. My point being, it's not something that you wake up one day and say like, oh, that's my signature. It's something that grows and ever evolve just by making other games, making games, and making games. One of my favorite moments of the career is after our 6th or 7th game, there was people starting to comment on our game and say, that feels so berserk. And we were like, yes, we have something, yes! And we knew what they were saying. So we're like, okay, that's our stuff. Let's continue on that direction. You know, the big muscle, blood, and kind of humor. We never swear in our game. We try not to. I think there's only one game that has swears in it. But you know, we don't want to be vulgar, but we just want to be like manly and explosions and blood, and usually use the comedy as a medium as well to convey those explosions and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, it's like nonsense violence will be a good way to wrap this up. And the last question, and then I'll go back to you guys. I am blind. I don't see your. I'm blind. What's in there? No, I don't see the chat. How is making indie games now different than what it was 5 years ago? I'm gonna put 10 years on that. Do you feel like more and more people are embracing the indie side of the game? What do you see for the future of independent game? Okay, so it's easier now to produce and release a game, but it's for the same reason it's harder to get out of the mass, you know. Because 10 years ago it was hard to release something on Steam. It was like fairly impossible. You had to know the guy or something like that. But once you were on Steam, you were kind of guaranteed success because you were a limited amount of games were there. Now it's easier, but the result is there's so many games out there, so many games, so it's really harder to stand up. Now, I just had I'm just scared that my mic is not open or something like that. I really hope I'm not babbling for nothing. Okay. I think I'm okay. And I was just afraid that, like, my chat will be like, no audio, I don't hear you. And I just spent the last half an hour on nowhere. So yeah, just to finish that question. It's harder now to get notified, to have your own signature, to be recognized on the mass. So yeah, I think that more and more. I said that on the Berserk podcast the other day, but I feel that now, especially that now that we can reach out the dev even more than before with Twitter and with Twitch, you can talk, and YouTube. You know, you can talk to the dev directly. I feel that we're gonna start to see the team to be not saleable, but branded. The team on its own will be branded more than before. I'm not saying that it's recommended or if it's obligatory, if it's necessary to have like a brand for your team. But you know what? When music, you have to sell your album, but you have also to sell your band, right? There's an image thing going on. Like Kiss, for example, have their own makeup, and right there, you recognize Kiss with a photo, and then you hear the music. So I kind of think that we are gonna have the same thing with the game developer. Not like makeup and everything, but we actually start to see that. Toby Fox has his little dog thing, like that's his main character, should we say, or more obviously is Dimitri. Dimitri has his little puppet, so that's a little signature for the team, you know. So if you want to play the game, you go check out the what's the name again? Ben D and the something machine. I feel horrible, but you know. That game is something on its own, but if you scratch and go check out the dev also have an image with the little puppet. There was who else? I think I noticed something else. I think it was Toby Fox. Is that the only thing I said? Yep. And for me, I tried to have that. I tried to be super transparent. and to be super energetic when I do my Twitch channel. You know, I try to be the coder that is always smiling and always over the top. And I think that we're gonna have, if we want to have a chance to get notified, we're gonna have to sell more our team. When I say sell, it feels weird, because sell feels like sell out. We have to sell our team. No, we have to brand our team. We have to be there. We have to showcase, and that's something we actually wanted to do like 10 years ago, and that's why we have our little avatars, our little Berserk avatars. And that was for a long time ago. We always wanted to have that. If I go to the documents from a long time ago, we're gonna see like really, there we go. That was done in 2008, I believe. And that's the very first, one of the very first thing we did when we started Berserk with the logo and everything. We, I think Mark did those one. Mark made the drawings of us three. And then we had the Berserk the Berserk Ball 1 character, and finally we have our group photo, those little Berserker over here, you know. So it's very important for us to have our own kind of a character, kind of a cartoon character, for that very reason, you know. So we wanted to do that like 10 years ago, but I still think that now people, since the strength of an indie game studio is that you can know everybody on the team, you know, something that EA or Ubisoft cannot have, because there's like 200 more people working on one thing. So it will become more personalized and more not chummy but friendly, because you're gonna know the guy behind it, and if you like the guy behind it, you're more inclined to buy his game as well. So that's what I see for the future, you know, have more of a cartoonish character or Kiss's character. At the end, put on makeup like Kiss, it worked for them, so it will work for you as an indie game developer. There we go, that's the moral of the story. And by the way, Mike is awesome on this picture. I really love that one. So that's a question that we have for the Q&A. I'm gonna have to put that on YouTube. And I really hope that you cut my stuff, but I'm gonna export that to YouTube afterwards. I really hope it will be exported to YouTube. Like sometimes the stream doesn't work and it doesn't get archives, so I really hope that will work. So I will answer a couple of questions, guys. It's 8:10. I'm gonna answer if you want. If you have any question, I can answer them right now in the chat. Latin Friends is having multiple color, working on project hard. Okay, so NXT Falcon is asking, is having multiple color. Okay, nice question. Right, NXT coder, is that it? NXT coder? Falcon, sorry. NXT Falcon Flacon, eh? NXT Flacon. NXT Flacon is having multiple color, working on the project hard. There's a limit. There's a limit on, like, if you pour more money on the project, if you put like twice the money on the project, it won't go twice as fast. There's a limit. Like the first twice money, I'm gonna say money, but the second coder will give you a bonus. Okay, let's say that one coder, I'm gonna say 100%. Two coders, 175%. Three coders, we get like 2 and 3%. So that will be something like that, you know. Obviously, it's not like that for every single day. Like for example, for Just Shapes and Beats, yes, I'm a coder, but these days it's been a long time I haven't coded anything for Just Shapes and Beats. Well, that's not true. I do a level editor and everything. But my point is, I spend most of my time to manage the team and polish some stuff on the visuals and be sure that everybody has something to do, etc., etc. So I just spend like 50% of my time just coding. So I lose. That's why there's only like 175 there, because I have to spend time to direct and lead that other coder. So like, hey, we have to work on this and let's do this and blah, blah, blah. You have some time to synchronize together. If I'm alone, I just do stuff. That's it. With that said, though, we have separated our abilities and our work, our task, into just shapes and beats. So I'm like the all-around guy who just try to extinguish the fire. The second coder is the integration guy. So integration and plus gameplay guy. So we take care of making everything work, and making everything work and playable. And the third one is multiplayer. He's taking care of the online mode and the port on consoles. So when we're gonna have a deal with X, Y, and Z, when we will be ready to port the game on the console, he will take care of that, because that takes a lot of time to pass all the certification and everything. So he will take care of that. So there's no way I could take care of everything. But since we separated our tasks like this, we always are able to work and without talking to each other very much. I actually speak to the two other coders maybe 4 or 5 times a week. So definitely not every day. Sometimes it's like, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. All right. And then the next day we come back, you know. But we do meetings every 6 or 7 weeks, approximately. We do meetings. We do meetings about 5 or 6 a week, where we get all the team together and just try to say like, okay, here's what I did during the last 6 week. So it gives us a little boost to try to impress the other member of the team, you know. So it's nice after 6 weeks to say like, okay, I'm gonna finish this real fast because I want to show the rest of the team how awesome I am, or how awesome this part is awesome, you know. So by doing that, I'm gonna call them sprints, because that's pretty much the jargon in coding. After a sprint, it's nice to get everybody together just to try to impress each other. So it motivates us as well. It gives us a boost of like, oh sweet, X, Y, and Z, you know. And the other thing is the two other coder has like 8 to 10 years of experience as well. So working with them is a charm. I don't need to explain them like what's a loop, what's a for loop, what's a while thing. They know everything, you know. Like, I want that to happen. All right, I'm on it, and that's it, you know. So yeah, that was a long answer. I joined late, but are there any good example of funny or hilarious user feedback that good laugh of you? If so, can you share an example? Okay, an example. I'm probably gonna not have an example like right off the bat, because I'm very bad in improvising. But actually, Berserk Ball 1. Okay, you guys won chest. I wasn't expecting over 100 people to show up. Hang on. And I'll take like one last question after that, and then I'll have to say goodbye, because my kids will be sleeping on the other side of the wall. So, all right, you should have your chest, guys. Berserk Ball 1 was actually created. The geek in Berserk Ball 1 represents all the bad comments we received in the past, and all the thing that he says in Berserk Ball 1 was actual comments we received. So to answer that question, just go play Berserk Ball 1 and you'll see like a bunch of quotes in there. It's either directed to Berserk Studio, it was a comment directed to somebody else, like Juicy Beast or Iron Eyed Studio, all those good guys from the Flash days. So yeah, we just took that. So we just make a game that the employees of Berserk Studio just punch the face of those bad comments that we received. Turned out that people personified those comments or that geek to somebody they knew in their entourage, you know, in their neighborhood. So everybody was like, hey, that guy is totally that guy on the forum, or that guy or that guy or that guy, you know. But at the beginning, for us, our interpretation of Berserk Ball 1's geek was the mix of all the bad comments we received. There was one I can remember, and it was for Hero's Arm, and somebody just said like, why don't the character can fly? 0 out of 5. And we were like, what? It's a Zelda game. Like, what? So a couple of them like that. Obviously, we've been shitting on a lot of time. Like, oh, you guys are corporate whore, and you just reply and say like, hey, well, thanks for playing. And then immediately they will reply and say like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I had a bad day. You guys are doing a good job. Keep up the good work. So yeah, you just have to not take them personally. I don't know if you get this question asked a lot, but is there a release date for Josh? Is it coming on Switch? I cannot answer that question yet. I cannot answer if it's gonna be on Switch, on PS4, on Xbox. I do wish that it will be on all of them. I do wish a lot, but I just cannot tell that. To increase my chances of it to happen, I cannot answer that question. As for the release date, we have something in mind internally, and we hope we will be able to get there. But I don't want to say it because every time I said a date, it was always 3 months late and 3 months late. So one friend of me told me it's always 3 months away. So you know those sign in the bar that says free beer tomorrow? We actually need that in my background that says like release date in 3 months. Like, so every day it's gonna be in 3 months. So yeah, and the phone is ringing. So I think, guys, I'm gonna stop the stream on this. It was nice. It was very impromptu. Thank you very much for sticking around. Like, there's like 100 people. So I hope it was helpful. But I really have to go now. So I hope it was helpful, guys. I'm just gonna create a YouTube export on this. If you like that, let me know. Let me know on Discord, or I'm gonna switch for this one. Let me know on Discord, Twitter, or whatever, if you like that kind of stuff. We can do a recurrent thing of this. I kind of like answering questions. When I code or when I do my stuff, you know, I'm kind of be focused and I try to explore at the same time. But if we had official Q&A like this, I'll be all for it. So let me know if you liked it.